Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And some things have happened today which I think are pretty shocking. First of all, this came out. Sam Bankman-Fried's surprisingly optimistic at meeting with a sexy crypto influencer. Now, we've covered before that I think most people would agree that it's a good-looking individual and that it might have helped land her get one of the most exclusive Sam Bankman-Fried interviews ever, but that's not how I would label it. And also, if we are joking around about it, well, I don't think that staple deserves on the New York Post. At the end of the day, she didn't show up like this. She didn't insinuate that this is the way in which, I don't know. I have no idea what these guys at the New York Post were thinking, just grabbing a random bikini picture from a long time ago, supposedly, instead of just saying a crypto influencer, if even that, or a independent journalist interviewing Sam Bankman-Fried in his home confinement, by the way. I don't know, I feel like this is a really strange situation, kind of awkward. And so people are asking, whoa, she met him in that outfit? Obviously not. I know why New York Post is pulling old pics. But yeah, I can understand why she was not too happy with this situation. By the way, it's not only on the New York Post, it's everywhere. The Mail Online, or Daily Mail in the UK, says, Sam Bankman-Fried's late night visit from glamorous crypto influencer revealed. Tiffany Fong says accused fraudster is surprisingly optimistic, but struggled with the lack of mental stimulation in jail. Again, if you guys didn't understand, Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried is actually facing up to 115 years in prison. He will enter a plea deal on fraud charges on January 3rd. Fong also said he doesn't want to talk too much about the worst case scenarios, but at the end of the day, he's pretty optimistic, and that's why I guess she was also allowed to visit him in his house in Palo Alto, California. To get back to it though, here we can see another one. Sam Bankman-Fried welcomes sexy crypto journalist while under house arrest. Yeah, I definitely understand why that's not the way you want to be treated as an independent journalist, just doing your job. I mean, she didn't do, why people pull up these pictures? Guys, if I ever go over to somebody's house to interview him, I want a New York Post article as well, grabbing some old pictures of me in the gym or maybe even from the sauna. With some nice titles as well, right? I really expect that now. However, let's keep the drama on the sidelines. Very interesting question. Comment this down below, but do you expect the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit to end in a settlement or end in just a conclusion of the lawsuit the quote-unquote traditional manner? I think it's kind of funny, but the majority of people I've spoken to say, no, it's going to be some sort of settlement because the SEC wants to keep files hidden. And if we look at the results of this poll, in 2023, the SEC versus Ripple case will settle or go to verdict. Again, the majority of people think indeed it will settle. It's not a question about what would be best for us, as again, best would probably be if we get to some sort of verdict with Ripple becoming victorious, but any option in terms of settling or verdict is fine, as long as it's either stalemate basically or victory, which I still think there's a 75% chance of, if not more. And partially for that reason, I just keep on stacking up. It's just a probability game. There's a very high likelihood that Ripple will come out victorious out of all of this, regardless of settlement or some sort of verdict from the judge. And you have to understand the SEC might want to hide stuff away, so a settlement is pretty likely as well. But again, guys, we think this lawsuit is going to end within 3 months from now. So potentially it is time to stack up because the rocket might be leaving the station soon. And another question is, how high will it go at that point? Well, right now Bitcoin is not doing so well, and so the probability of XRP soaring towards $50 all of a sudden because of the lawsuit ending, it's lower. Then again, you have to understand as well that the majority of people are actually still going to buy XRP once it's settled. What I mean with that is, with a lot of buy the rumors, sell the news type of endeavors, people buy in anticipation of the event. And then when the event happens, people don't buy anymore because, well, they all saw it coming. With this, it's an event that we don't know the outcome of. And so right now, the amount of people that hold XRP is relatively small. And the amount of people that will buy it once, well, Ripple has won and XRP is now not a security officially, it's going to change a lot of people's minds. It's going to make a lot of people buy the coin. If you're wondering what the next big date is as well, from the perspective of association, January 30th is going to be one of the most important days in, I guess, SEC crypto territory. Not necessarily the Ripple versus SEC case, because it's Ripple's ally, but it might be the most significant crypto hearing to date. Like John Deaton said, the January 30th hearing regarding Library.com's motion to limit the SEC's remedies is arguably the most important crypto hearing to date. And again, I am not so sure if this is going to be another phone call or what it's going to be, but if it's some sort of phone call, you guys already know I'm going to be calling in like we've done for every single hearing as of this point, and we're going to live stream it again and try to uncover as much of this stuff for ourselves. The SEC is seeking disgorgement from a non-party, but also read the SEC's proposed language read the proposed language for the permanent injunction down below. Now, what John Dean is mostly referring to here is what would happen if this is left untreated. Again, they're seeking disgorgement against a non-party, which is way worse than merely an injunction. What he's referring to is the proposed language could theoretically allow the SEC to reach into the secondary market and prevent transactions from people who are only users of the platform who never acquired library coin for investment reasons. We're talking about this specific case here, of which the conclusion could be way worse than people actually thought. For example, the SEC could never satisfy the Howey test as it applies to Naomi Brockwell's use of library coin. The SEC stipulated that there are many library coin holders who only use library coin for the platform, never considering it an investment, yet the SEC refuses to issue a no-action letter. This is why, on behalf of Naomi Brockwell, I filed an amicus brief and filed a motion to be admitted pro-hack on the issue. This case not getting a lot of industry attention, and anyway, to continue, so we were right here. This case not getting a lot of industry attention, i.e., there aren't 15 amicus briefs in support of library like in Ripple. The following is at issue. The SEC is inappropriately seeking punitive disgorgement in a non-fraud case. Judge Nedburn in the Ripple case stated that the lawyers at the SEC lacked a faithful allegiance to the law and, despite the law, framed legal arguments based solely to advance its desired goals. It appears the SEC is doing the same thing in library, even though the SEC won. Library, like Ripple, is a non-fraud case, a strict Section 5 violation, failure to register library coin sales. Ask yourself, why is the SEC seeking disgorgement in this non-fraud case? Failure to register fraud case. Non-fraud failure to register case. The SEC won summary judgment a little while ago versus Kik, but didn't seek or ask for disgorgement. More troubling is SEC alleged library used all the funds raised by token sales to build out the platform and technology. Despite making such claims, the SEC is now claiming all the token sales were profits. The SEC again is ignoring applicable law, and the Supreme Court in lieu ver SEC requires the SEC to deduct any of library's legitimate business expenses if the money from token sales were used, is the SEC alleged, to build the business. That money was then legitimate expenses. It is clear the SEC is being punitive. The question is why? Is for library-specific reasons or crypto in general, ? The second major issue is that the SEC is also seeking disgorgement against a non-party entity. This has huge implications and could set a very bad precedent. And this obviously is the most important part as of this point. And then point 3, the language of the proposed permanent injunction, which is provided above, coupled with the SEC's absolute refusal to distinguish secondary market sales or even transactions by users, demonstrates the SEC's intent to expand its jurisdictional reach into the secondary market. And again, all of the above and more is why I said that the January 30th hearing is arguably the most important hearing to date. And as of this point, I can only agree with that. It seems very likely that this is going to be a very important date. Now, one thing I want to remind you guys of, and I don't want to take too much time in all this, is to quickly say, hey, if you're not doing so already, potentially think about preparing for the next bull market. Again, next bull market, this type of stuff is going to be way more important. Just buying tokens before they're listed onto main platforms yet. Again, I don't know any of these tokens that are mentioned in this list, except for the token that is actually founded by the Moon Carl, one of my friends. The rest of these coins I do not know. The point being, however, that over the next couple of months, the bull market might come back. Who knows, right? At least from January 1st or a little bit around that time on forward, it's looking as if cryptos are going to be at least doing well again because the tax break is over, or I guess the taxing season is over. And I just want you guys to prepare, not necessarily by this list, but to just potentially get back into the more risky segment of cryptos for in case the crypto bull market pops back off again. But basically, once we're starting to see some crazy pump days, I'm just going to really this year go extremely hard on just buying crazy stupid coins. But even by just putting $1,000 into all these crazy stupid coins, like with Shiba Inu, I don't know exactly how much the return on that was, but it was absolutely wild. Just saying, we're going to do that again. We're going to try to go absolutely wild, and we're going to share the journey with you guys. So all I'm saying right there is just prepare yourself for some capital to be needed to buy some crazy altcoins and some crazy opportunities. It's not there yet. It's not there yet at all. And I'm not your financial advisor, but we're going to look into that pretty soon. I think it's going to be interesting. And then to get back to this article right here, I still have not figured out exactly what happened. Hundreds of millions of XRP moved by anonymous giants. It was 400 million XRP that was moved in one transaction. 410 million XRP. And again, not really anybody is pointing out exactly what this meant or what happened. It seems like nobody really noticed, or nobody's really able to explain exactly what this is all about. These are all related tweets. Yeah, but I've also actually attempted to cover this yesterday, but I didn't figure it out. And even today, again, 410 million XRP has just been moved around, but it's not the first of the month, so it's not Ripple doing this. And otherwise, they would have stated that it's Ripple because most of Ripple's wallets are known. There's some guy just moving $150 million around. That potentially might be Ripple related, sure. Maybe they've gotten money from Ripple in the past. But all we know is that this money transferred from, I believe, Bitstamp, right? Yeah, you can see a Bitstamp wallet, which in theory doesn't have to be Bitstamp owned. It could just be activated by Bitstamp because it's not officially registered. And being activated by Bitstamp could also mean that somebody actually took in a withdrawal from Bitstamp that activated this wallet then. As of this point, however, the money is still sitting in this specific account. It could just be a Bitstamp new wallet, but it's pretty strange how things have gone. Over the last couple of months, again, 350 million came in, 130 million came in, and now 410 million. So it's looking as if this is just storage for some sort of exchange because these are major transfers. This wallet is now holding 1.4 billion XRP, but it's not registered officially here. Again, it's pretty strange how things have gone, but we can't really make more out of it. But as of this point, we're expecting it to be Bitstamp to Bitstamp, just as one of their newest wallets. But again, it could also be something else. We just don't know for sure. But yeah, that was it for today's crypto video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you put the notification bell on, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video somewhere tomorrow.